I'm wearing a $3 million engagement ring from a billionaire, but my new stepson is my secret one-night stand. Hi, I'm Chloe, and my perfect, luxurious life just turned into a twisted, high-stakes game of seduction. I've always been fiercely independent, working my way up as a top-tier luxury real estate agent in the city. My days were spent in glass offices, closing multi-million-dollar deals and looking absolutely flawless while doing it. I thought I had everything under control until the day I was hired to sell a massive luxury penthouse. That's how I met Julian, a devastatingly handsome silver fox billionaire who immediately caught my attention. Julian wasn't just wealthy. He was charming, powerful, and he practically worshipped the ground I walked on. He started pursuing me relentlessly, sending hundreds of red roses to my office every single morning. Soon we were flying on his private jets, dining in Paris and sleeping in five-star suites. Julian spoiled me with designer wardrobes and treated me like an absolute, untouchable queen. I had finally secured the ultimate fairy tale that every single girl dreams of having. On our 6-month anniversary, Julian took me to a private yacht under the starry night sky. He got down on one knee and presented a massive, custom-made diamond engagement ring. I said yes, completely blinded by the luxury, the absolute safety, and his warm smile. But to understand how this fairy tale became a total nightmare, we need to rewind a bit. Exactly 6 months before I met Julian, my friends dragged me on a wild girls trip to Miami. I had just gone through a terrible breakup and desperately needed a night of reckless fun. We ended up in an exclusive neon-lit underground club, surrounded by thumping music and heavy drinking. That's when I saw him across the VIP room, a mysterious, dangerously hot blonde guy staring right at me. We never exchanged names, but the physical chemistry between us was instantly and undeniably explosive. He pulled me onto the dance floor, and before I knew it, we were in his hotel room. It was the most unforgettable, intensely passionate one-night stand of my entire life. When I woke up the next morning, he was still asleep, looking like a literal dark angel. I quietly slipped out of the room, leaving absolutely no number and no trace behind. I convinced myself it was just a crazy vacation memory that I would eventually forget. But I could never truly get his intense dark eyes or his heated touch out of my mind. Fast forward to the present day. I was officially moving into Julian's sprawling mega mansion. The estate was breathtaking, complete with flawless marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and an army of staff. Julian wanted to celebrate my arrival by throwing a lavish high society welcome party. He also mentioned casually that his only son was flying back from Europe just to meet me. I wanted to make the absolute perfect first impression as the future stepmother of the estate. I spent hours getting ready, putting on my most breathtaking, tight, backless red evening gown. The mansion was filled with wealthy guests, sipping expensive champagne and listening to a live orchestra. I took a deep, shaky breath and began walking down the grand marble staircase to join Julian. Julian was standing at the bottom, beaming with pride, chatting with a tall young man. "Chloe, darling, come meet my son," Julian called out, his voice echoing in the grand hall. The young man slowly turned around, holding a crystal tumbler of whiskey in his hand. My heart completely stopped. The champagne glass slipped from my fingers and shattered on the floor. Standing there, wearing a wicked, knowing smirk, was the mysterious stranger from Miami. My unforgettable one-night stand was Julian's son, Liam, the hottest, most dangerous mistake of my life. I was completely paralyzed with sheer panic, but Liam didn't miss a single beat. He smoothly walked over, stepping over the broken glass, and extended his hand to me politely. "It's a pleasure to finally meet you, Chloe," Liam said, his voice dripping with hidden sarcasm. Julian completely missed the heavy, suffocating sexual tension crackling between us in the room. He proudly pulled Liam into a fatherly hug, laughing about how great the family looked together. As Julian turned his back to greet another guest, Liam immediately leaned into my personal space. "Looking forward to having you in the family, stepmom," he whispered right against my ear. A massive shiver ran straight down my spine. I was trapped in a beautiful billionaire's cage. The rest of the dinner party was absolute torture. I could barely swallow my expensive food. Liam sat directly across from me at the long dining table, never breaking his intense eye contact. Every time Julian praised me, Liam would take a slow sip of dark wine and smirk darkly. The next morning, Julian kissed my forehead and left for a week-long corporate business trip. I was left entirely alone in the massive, echoing mansion. Or at least, so I thought. I walked down to the vast, modern kitchen in my silk robe to get some morning coffee. Liam was already there, leaning against the marble counter, shirtless and dangerously fit. "Sleep well, stepmom?" he asked, his dark eyes slowly trailing up and down my body. I tried to act cold and professional, reminding him that I was marrying his wealthy father. He just laughed, stepping closer until I was backed up against the cold refrigerator door. "My dad doesn't know you like I do, Chloe," he murmured, his breath hot on my neck. I pushed him away and ran back to my room, my heart pounding completely out of my chest. But Liam was completely relentless. He constantly found excuses to corner me when the maids weren't looking. One afternoon, I was sunbathing by the estate's massive infinity pool, trying my best to relax. Liam suddenly dove into the water, surfacing right at the edge of my white lounge chair. Drops of water fell from his blonde hair as he stared at me with pure, undeniable hunger. If Julian finds out the truth, I'll lose my billionaire lifestyle and my flawless reputation forever. But resisting Liam was becoming impossible. The forbidden nature of it only fueled the burning fire. Things reached a dangerous breaking point a few nights later in Julian's grand, dark library. I was reading a book when Liam walked in and explicitly locked the heavy oak doors behind him. The room was completely dark, lit only by the fireplace. He walked toward me with clear intention. "Tell me you don't want this," Liam challenged, gently grabbing my waist and pulling me close. I opened my mouth to protest, but the words completely died in my throat as he looked at me. Our faces were inches apart. The tension was so thick it was driving me absolutely insane. Suddenly, we heard the heavy sound of car tires crunching loudly on the gravel driveway outside. Julian was home 2 days early. We instantly sprang apart, fixing our messy clothes in a sheer panic. Julian walked into the library seconds later, looking tired but genuinely happy to see us both. "I missed you, darling," Julian smiled, kissing my cheek while Liam watched angrily from the shadows. Now, Julian is aggressively pushing to move our wedding date up to next month. I am literally suffocating under the crushing weight of this massive, scandalous secret in this house. Liam told me yesterday that if I walk down the aisle, he will ruin the wedding entirely. I have to choose a safe, billionaire future or a dangerous, passionate mistake. Subscribe for part 2.